my channel. I'm just a girl who likes reading romance, fantasy romance, paranormal romance, any kind of genre of romance in general. And I also happen to have cerebral palsy, and it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel. Happy Monday! I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today's video is going to be my December mid-month wrap-up. I'm filming this on the 15th, so I'm going to talk about all the books that I read from the 1st to the 14th of December. All these books I'm just going to go through really quickly because I did a new releases video when I think of the new releases in December, and a Christmas romance recommendation video. So if you want to know my full thoughts on these videos, click the link in the description. Broken Dreams by Corinne Michaels. It's a widowed romance, and they fake date, and they have 2 children, and it's fake dating. I gave that book 4 stars. The Lovely Return. It's an age gap romance, best friend's dad romance reincarnation by Carrie Ann Cole. I gave that book 5 stars. God of Fury by Rita Kent. It's an MM romance. It's a dark romance. I gave that book 5 stars. God of Fury is probably one of my favorite books of this year. Sable Peak by Stephanie Perry. I gave that book 4 stars. It's the last book in the Eden series. Hold Fast. It's a historical romance where the hero and the heroine get into a marriage of convenience, and I gave that book 4 stars. It Should Have Been Us by Anne B. Doe. It's a second chance football player romance. He goes back to his small town, and I gave that book 4 stars. To Give a Grump a Holiday Wish List. It's a novella between the assistant and her boss, and I gave that book 3 stars. Holly Jolly Ever After. The hero and the heroine make a spicy, sort of like Hallmark Christmas movie. I gave that book 4 stars. Snowed In, and it's by Catherine Walsh. It's a fake dating romance. The hero and the heroine both have to go back to their small town and to get their families off their backs, they decide to fake date each other. And I gave that book 5 stars. Set the Record Straight by Hannah Bottom Young. It's a sapphic friends to lovers romance, fake dating. I gave that book 4 stars. Festive Feud by Marin Moore. It's a enemies to lovers. The hero and the heroine both have to team up together to throw this holiday party, and I give that book 4 stars. A Little Magic. It's a brother's best friend, second chance romance. The heroine has a chronic illness. She has lupus from the age of 8. And I gave that book 4 stars. Big Nick Energy by Morgan Elizabeth. It's a cowboy single mom romance Christmas romance, and I gave that book 5 stars. December Midnight. It's a Christmas novella, and I gave that book 4 stars. Your Heart Be Light. It's an Christmas romance. Both the heroes are single dads. 5 stars. Buckled by Pam Godwin. I really can't say much about this book because this book follows the event of the first book, Knotted, but with different characters. But what I can say, the basic premise is, in Knotted, the hero and the heroine are high school sweethearts. They plan to spend the rest of their lives together, and when they plan to lose their B card together, they go to the woods. The hero's into role play, so he ties her up on a tree, but all of a sudden, masked men came, sexually assaults the heroine in front of the hero, and the heroine's brother and the hero's brother come to save them, but they end up getting tied up with the bad man as well. In the book, decide to take revenge on the people who hurt the heroine. That's the basic premise of it, and Buckled follows the events of Knotted. This time, it's the story of the hero's brother in Knotted and a reporter that's trying to figure out what happened to the people connected to them, and it's their romance. Dear Grumpy Boss by Julia Wolf. I binged the whole Harder They Fall series because of Jen from the Book Feud. She talked about the 3rd book in the series that came out yesterday, which I read, by the way. It's P.S. You're Intolerable, but I couldn't read the 3rd book in the series unless I read the first 2 books in the series. So Dear Grumpy Boss is about Elsie, whose boyfriend in front of the co-workers. So she's very embarrassed. She decides to leave town and go back to Chicago. Calls her older brother Elliot, tells her the situation, and Elliot, her brother, says, "Don't worry about it, I'll take care of it, just move back home." And Elsie starts working for Elliot's best friend, Winston. She starts working for his company. And Elliot tells Weston to look after his sister. So he does. He tries to make Elsie feel more comfortable in his company. What Weston doesn't know is Elsie always had a crush on Weston growing up, but then she thought Weston would never feel that way about her, so she kind of pulled away from their relationship, and Weston was always wondering why she did that. But then something happens when Elsie decides to go hiking alone. She sees a bear, and then Weston, without her knowing, he follows her when she decides to go hiking, because Weston always told her, do not go hiking alone, because you never know what will happen. She saves her from the dangerous bear situation, and after that they start having feelings for each other, and they form a relationship, but they decide to keep this relationship a secret from Elsie's brother Elliot. And I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. There's book 2 in that series, Sincerely Your Inconvenient Wife, and we follow I can't say the heroine's name, Saoirse and Luca. Saoirse is Elsie's best friend, and Luca is Elliot and Weston's best friend. Luca and Saoirse meet at a party in Luca's house that Luca's cousin was throwing, but Luca and Saoirse both give each other like different names. So they thought it was a one-time thing. They hooked up, and when their friend group was meeting each other, Luca and Saoirse meet each other again, but they realize it's the person they both had a one-night stand with, and they tell each other their real names. Saoirse, she works as a temp, and for that reason she starts working at Luca's company, and Luca proposes to her that they get married for 2 years because Luca is taken over as the CEO of his father's company because his father had a heart attack. The company tells him he has to clean up his image, so he proposes to Saoirse that they get married for at least 2 years and then they can get divorced, and it will help Saoirse out because it will get her mother off her back. So she agrees to this situation. Saoirse doesn't believe in marriage. She doesn't think it will last because of the situation that happened with her parents. But Luca falls hard for her, and Saoirse, to convince Saoirse that their marriage is real, that he will stay with her. I gave that book 5 stars. Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. I read this book because I wanted to read book 2 in the series, because book 2, Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl talked about it, and I didn't want to read book 2 unless I read book 1 first. Peppa and Jamie. Jamie is a famous hockey player, and he just got traded to Canada's team, and the team hires Jamie an assistant. That assistant turns out to be Peppa, a girl he knows from high school. Jamie always had a crush on Peppa in high school, but Peppa was dating someone else, and so he never got his chance to ask her out. Peppa is an assistant because her ex-boyfriend, who works in the music industry, really hit her confidence. He told her that she's not a good songwriter, that she can never make it in the music industry. He is now an assistant to Jamie. So it's a slow burn romance secret pining. The hero and the heroine both have to deal with a lot of stuff emotionally. Amy with his mother and Peppa with. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. Tori from Novel Life also recommended this book. The Fake Out. Hazel, who is Peppa's sister from book 1, Behind the Nudge, she works as a PT for the team, a physiotherapist, and her ex-boyfriend in high school, who dumped her very humiliatingly in college, is traded to the team. So she asks Rory, another player on the team she went to high school with, to be her fake boyfriend to keep her ex away from her. Now, Hazel used to be Rory's tutor in high school, and Rory always had a crush on Hazel, and this is Rory's opportunity to make Hazel see what type of man he is, to make him fall in love with her. Of course, the fake feelings turn real. It was never fake for Rory's part, and I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. P.S. Your Intolerable Boss Secretary Romance. We have Elliot's book. Hello, Catherine, who she is pregnant, and the baby daddy decides to leave her for Australia after they spent all this money fixing up a house together. They were gonna flip the house together, but she ends up pregnant, and once she's pregnant, he decides to hightail it out of there, and she gets a job as Elliot's assistant, and she thinks Elliot is intolerable, always making strict demands, always liking things in a particular way. And it isn't until Elliot's best friends, Luca, tells him, she's pregnant, right? She has to go on leave soon. But Elliot didn't notice she's pregnant because she's always wearing black, and so Elliot didn't know she was pregnant because she never told him. Once he finds that out, he changes the chair for everyone to a more comfortable office chair, because he notices that she's having trouble sitting in that chair. When Elsie goes on maternity leave, Elliot visits her and realizes she's living in a dump. Basically, there are no floors in her house, and he's like, you cannot live here with a newborn. I have extra room in my house. You can live in my house. Living together, Catherine realizes that Elliot isn't intolerable as he seems. She sees that he really cares about her, and he helps her take care of her daughter, and he falls in love with her, and he falls in love with the daughter. So it's a boss-employee romance, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. Books that I read in the first half of December. Please let me know if you have read any of these books. I would love to know. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. That would mean the world to me. And I'll see you Wednesday. Bye.